During Kingdom Hearts' 20th anniversary, Square Enix dropped a massive reveal, a trailer for Kingdom Hearts 4. Look at our boy Sora, all grown up in ray tracing glory. Grappling hook! And I'm sorry, is that an AT-ST foot from Star Wars in that forest? But I think the biggest question on everyone's mind after seeing the trailer is, well, probably when the game is releasing. With this series, who knows when that'll be. But the second biggest question on everyone's mind is, what the heck is going on in this trailer? True to Kingdom Hearts form, it seems insanely complicated and impossible to determine. Or is it? Based off of what we see in the trailer, we can actually piece together a basic premise for what's happening here, and use that to make educated predictions as to what's to come in Kingdom Hearts 4. In this video, we're only giving basic summaries of key events across all the Kingdom Hearts games, so we can focus more on the new stuff shown in the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer. If you want a more in-depth summary of the story, you can find great recaps across YouTube from people like LimitForm72, HMK, Kingdom Ace, and The Gamers Joint, to name a few. Before we begin, shoutouts to the Kingdom Hearts Reddit community and Kingdom Hearts Insider for providing a bunch of the information we're going over today. Finally, we'll be placing chapters on the YouTube timeline, so you can skip around to the various sections of this video more easily. With that out of the way, let's dive right in. Here's what's recently happened in the series. Sora, Donald, Goofy, and the gang defeated Xehanort. He's the main villain of all the games so far. But it came at a cost. Kairi, who dies, in a sense, thanks to a sneak attack by Xehanort. Sora isn't having any of that, so he decides he's going to use his Power of Waking ability that he earned in Kingdom Hearts 3 to travel back in time and fix everything that went wrong during the final battles at the Keyblade Graveyard. It's sort of like Kingdom Hearts' take on Avengers Endgame. You actually play through these time travel shenanigans during the Remind DLC expansion for Kingdom Hearts 3. These time travel stunts explain all of the weirder, unexplainable story things that happen during the final battles.
This is impossible.
Sora is able to save Kairi, but that also comes at a cost. Sora himself, who mysteriously vanishes. So the gang now starts looking for where Sora poofed off to. Enter the next game to release, Melody of Memory, where we discover, by examining Kairi's memories, get it? That there's actually another realm in the Kingdom Hearts universe on top of the 6 we already know. The 6 being Light, Darkness, Between, Memories, Data, and Dreams. The gang currently can't get to this new 7th realm, because it essentially exists in an alternate reality, so they enlist the help of a girl named Strelitzia to get there. Who is Strelitzia? Well, that's a rabbit hole for another day. But all you need to know is that she's a character from a Kingdom Hearts mobile game who's the sister of this guy, and she actually originates from this 7th realm. She can open a path for Sora's friend Riku to get there, since Riku also has the power Sora has, the power of waking.
I want to go.
Kairi, that's not...
Yeah, I know.
So going into the Kingdom Hearts 4 trailer, we know that Sora's in the 7th realm, Riku's going to find him, Kairi is staying behind to train some more, and Mickey, Donald, and Goofy are rounding up the troops and gathering more info.
Yes, sir! Yes, sir!
Okay, now let's get to the trailer. Kingdom Hearts 4 is confirmed to be starting a new arc called the Lost Master arc. What we know for a fact is that Sora is not the Lost Master, despite the trailer taking place in a 7th realm world Sora is lost in.
What?
In Dream Drop Distance, Sora actually failed the tests necessary to become a master, so he can't be the Lost One. Instead, I suspect this Lost Master is either the Master of Masters.
Who are you really? I'm a lost master.
Or a new character who is one of the ancient masters partially referenced in Melody of Memory.
It was known that the ancient masters had crossed over into another world.
So next in the trailer, we get these lines.
自分が望む結末ではなかったと絶望するのなら他の世界に退場すればいい。
Once again, the likely culprit is the Master of Masters. We see who's actually saying these lines towards the end of the trailer. It's one of these two hooded figures. Fans familiar with Kingdom Hearts' back cover and the mobile games will immediately assume this is the Master of Masters and another character named Luxu, and they're probably right. Long story short, the Master of Masters is an all-seeing prophetic character, and Luxu, who we eventually discover is actually Xigbar, a secondary antagonist in the series, was his underling. While we're not entirely sure of his identity yet, The Master of Masters has been the architect for almost every major plot point in the series. The Master of Masters even equipped Xehanort with all the tools he'd need to be the major antagonist of Kingdom Hearts' first arc. So it makes more sense that he and Luxu are the two robed figures here, and not just some new random characters. Back to the trailer. This world we're seeing is called Quadratum. And boy oh boy, are the graphics way more realistic than we've seen in the series thus far. You might be a little worried about this. Previous Disney worlds that have appeared in Kingdom Hearts are from animated films, so won't they no longer aesthetically fit in and feel right in Kingdom Hearts 4? Is the entire game only going to take place on Quadratum? Well, put those fears aside, because there are 3 things pointing to that not being the case, and that Kingdom Hearts 4 will continue the series format of visiting multiple Disney worlds. Let's go over each of them. The next few shots in the trailer take place in a forest that seem different from the city we've been shown up until this point, and I'm sorry, what is that? It clearly looks mechanical compared to the rest of the plant life around it. Fans have pointed out that it looks suspiciously close in design to an AT-ST FUD. Those are the chicken-walking looking things the Empire uses in Star Wars. In fact, the AT-ST and forest-like setting immediately draw comparisons to scenes in Star Wars Return of the Jedi. The plant life seems to be a perfect match with the planet Endor, where there were certainly AT-STs present.
Chewie!
As crazy as it sounds at first, Star Wars getting a Kingdom Hearts world makes more sense than you think. Star Wars is one of the biggest franchises owned by Disney, and the entire story behind Return of the Jedi in particular is Luke's internal battle with the darkness in his heart, as the Emperor tries to get him to turn to the dark side. And we all know how much Kingdom Hearts loves its battles with darkness.
Darkness.
Darkness, darkness, darkness.
Darkness! Darkness!
Darkness, darkness!
On to the second point. In the trailer, this is the hooded figure's line.
一度退場すれば元の世界に戻れると思うな
Remember that Sora is stuck in this new 7th realm. So this line here indicates that Sora will try to return to his home in the other realms by leaving Quadratum. But he's going to stumble across various other worlds along the way. One of them, probably, unbelievably, is Endor from Star Wars. Finally, if you're still not convinced that multiple worlds are coming, Kingdom Hearts Insider translated a Q&A section with game director Tetsuya Nomura during the 20th anniversary event, who confirmed that, yes, multiple worlds are still going to appear in this game. Back to the trailer. We're introduced to a new character, who is none other than Strelitzia, appearing for the first time in 3D form. She explains that this world is some form of afterworld for Sora, though it's not clear if this is actually an afterlife scenario, or if it's just a fancy metaphor, since Sora and her technically died and landed in Quadratum. After this, we see this bad boy beginning to materialize in the middle of the city. It's Darkseid, which is a cool shoutout, because that's the very first boss you faced in the entire series. We get some gameplay snippets too, but I wouldn't look too much into it, other than maybe the new grappling hook mechanic. It seems to be using the same engine as Kingdom Hearts 3. The UI is the same, the flow motion mechanic is nearly identical, scripted battle events are returning, and even the drill attack is very similar to the drill punch form change in 3. Since the trailer clarifies that this is development footage, I'd expect a lot of these mechanics to change more beyond its Kingdom Hearts 3 base. There's one final thing to discuss in the trailer. In its final moments, Donald and Goofy are shown searching for someone who can help them find Sora. This someone is unquestionably Hades. There's no one else in the series who has access to blue fire and later orange fire, judging by the light reflecting on Donald and Goofy.
Hey, it was great seeing ya! Happy trails!
Hades' fire turns orange when he's angry, explaining why Donald and Goofy are scared in this moment. This whole portion of the trailer seems to be a reassurance to fans, the kind of message that says, don't worry, the animated Disney worlds of the previous games still have a place in Kingdom Hearts 4, despite the change in graphics in Quadratum. Let's get into predictions for Kingdom Hearts 4. Starting with the easiest prediction, it seems clear that the game is going to follow 2 storylines. One will follow Sora as he tries to return home from the 7th realm, and one will follow the rest of the gang back in the other realms. Donald and Goofy's scene in the trailer might actually be a cutscene in the final product. They're asking Hades for help, since Sora died in their realm, and Hades is the guy responsible for overseeing dead people. They think he might know something. The real question is how involved is the second storyline going to be compared to Sora's storyline? Will we be able to play these segments, like playing as Kairi as she trains up with the rest of the gang? Well, there's actually solid groundwork for that potentially happening. Most to all of the other characters actually got playable movesets in Remind DLC, meaning that Square Enix is clearly experimenting with gameplay involving them. Plus, a second storyline involving these characters in the other realms presents Square Enix a unique opportunity. These characters could visit the Disney worlds with the goofier, more animated aesthetics, while Sora bounces from world to world with more realistic aesthetics, like Star Wars. That could be a less visually jarring solution to the problem. Plus, we all know how expansive Disney's real-person IP catalog has gotten. Now for the harder prediction. Who's going to be the antagonist of Kingdom Hearts 4? Well, I think there could be two, actually. The Master of Masters flat out says in the Remind DLC that he's planning to destroy the world.
I could tell you that I dream of world peace, when I'm actually planning for its destruction. The truth is what you see with your eyes, not what you hear.
But the Master of Masters and his underling Luxu seem to be taking a more passive approach in their plans, letting others do the dirty work while they kinda just sit back and watch.
You'll be the one controlling the darkness instead. Me, on the other hand, I'm too much of a scaredy cat to ever take mine off.
Meanwhile, Maleficent is seeking the mysterious black box, which, mind you, Luxu is aware of. We also know that Maleficent is aware of all 6 of the realms the rest of the Sora gang occupy, since she's been to almost every one. Maleficent's original plans in the series were to conquer every world and fill them with darkness. It's possible that this is technically still her plan all along, with her now knowing there's a 7th realm with more worlds to conquer. This would indicate that the black box is a part of that plan, hence why she's seeking it. But what the heck is in the dang box? My best guess is that the box is actually a portal directly to the 7th realm that Sora's now in. If the black box was a portal, it would also explain why Luxu asked Luxord to try to find this box for him. Luxord is another character whose origin we don't quite know yet, but we do know through the secret ending to the Remind DLC that Luxord actually also existed in the 7th realm.
Impressive, is it not? It doesn't make a difference to me.
So is it possible Luxu asked Luxord specifically because he's another character like Strelitzia who crossed over from the 7th realm and thus could potentially have a connection to the black box? That brings us to Yozora, who's actually the dude in this car with Luxord. Yozora is the secret super boss in Kingdom Hearts 3 Remind, which would point to him being the big villain in Kingdom Hearts 4. After all, the series typically uses its secret super bosses to tease who the villain in the next game is going to be. The Yozora fight actually takes place in Quadratum, and there are technically 2 endings to the fight. Both endings imply that Yozora's goal is to stop Sora from leaving the 7th realm by fighting and incapacitating him, which is obviously in direct conflict with Sora wanting to return home. It's tough to say for certain where the series is actually going to go. The Kingdom Hearts wild ride never ends, and it is far from over.